So let's make some creamed corn. I am going to show you how my grandmother would make creamed corn, and this is a very fond memory that I have as a young girl. And so here are the ingredients, and I am including some optional ingredients. She certainly did not use these optional ingredients, and it's really a very simple dish. So your corn is only going to be as good as it is fresh. So whenever I'm selecting corn, I pull back that silk at the top, and I put my little thumbnail up there to make sure that it is bursting with a white milky juice. Okay, we don't want it watery and clear, because that means it's harvested too early. Now, a couple of years ago, I grew some of my grandmother's corn. She would grow the Shoepeg corn, and it makes the most wonderful creamed corn. So if you can ever grow that, go ahead and give it a try. So let's go ahead and start by cooking our bacon. I'm going to get that going while I cut the corn off the cob. So this is probably one of the most important parts about making the creamed corn. We want to shave off just the very top of the kernel. Don't go any deeper. You shouldn't see any kind of little hole or anything on the cob when you've cut it. If the corn is coming off in a row and it's like it's just falling off into your dish, well, you're cutting too deep. So this is the part we want to get, just the very top. That's the crown of the kernel. And so we are leaving behind all of the starch and the germ, and we're not getting any of the tough part of the corn, okay? So just gently shave it off. I noticed that if I use my chef's knife, I always go too deep, so I like to use this little paring knife for this. And now we'll go back in, and we're going to get the starch and the germ. That's where the oil is, okay? So now I'll take the back side of my knife. I do like to use my chef's knife for this part. So I'll just patiently work around the cob, turning it I like to hold it at about a 45-degree angle in a casserole dish, or right into the skillet if I'm not adding all of those other things. And I'll just scrape it, and this is also called milking the cob. And so we're just going to do this until all of those little kernel holes are completely empty. We want those to be nice and empty. We want to get everything out of there because we're making creamed corn. We're not making corn and then putting it into a creamed sauce, okay? Creamed corn is really very simple to make, and so just be patient, and this is kind of what you're going for right here. I might spend about 45 seconds to 1 minute on each cob, and I think I used about 8 to 10 cobs to make this skillet of creamed corn. Now it looks like my bacon is ready, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that and chop it. I want to remove the grease as well, and I'm just going to strain that out to get out any of the little bits in there that might be burned. And I went ahead and cleaned out the cast iron skillet as well. Now I'm going to add back 1 tablespoon of the grease along with about a half a tablespoon of the butter. And I'll put in my minced shallot along with just a tiny bit of a minced hot pepper with a little bit of salt as well. And I'm going to cook these on about medium-low heat for, about 3 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And then I can go ahead and add my creamed corn. Pretty much at this point you can call it creamed corn. We are just going to flavor it at this point, okay? And so I put this in my pan on low heat at about 558. And I'm going to turn up the heat. I'm adding just a splash of skim milk. You can add just a splash of water. I'm also adding one of my optional ingredients, which is the bacon. And now I'm turning up the heat to about medium-low. And I'm going to just go ahead and incorporate all of the ingredients together. Make sure it's nice and level. And we'll give it a cover. And I want to bring it up to just a little small simmer here. So once it starts to simmer a little bit, I'll go ahead and remove the lid. All I was doing at that point was just trying to get everything warmed up nicely together, cook the corn just a tiny bit, and get the bacon flavor and all the shallots, all those flavors mixed together. Okay, so now that I've removed the lid, I want to thicken it. And this shouldn't take more than about 5 minutes on about medium-low heat, maybe up to medium. It depends on your pan, really. These cast iron skillets can get pretty hot, so I tend to cook around medium-low heat. There's a little more liquid in here than I'd prefer, so it won't take long for this to thicken up. So just about 4 minutes later, uncovered, it thickened up beautifully. And this is what you're looking for. Okay, now I'm tasting one more time for seasoning just to make sure, and it is absolutely perfect. So I want to go ahead and remove this from the heat. The last thing we want to do is overcook our creamed corn. We don't want it to be real thick and mushy. We want it to be creamy, just like this. And so, you can certainly skip all those optional ingredients and just use maybe a little bit of butter to get you started, a splash of water. The trick is really the corn. It's all about the corn. You might need to add a little sugar if your corn is a little bit older. So please feel free to add sugar to taste. And now I'm also going to put a little chives on here. My grandmother didn't do that, but I have them, so that's what I'm adding up here. And it is just beautiful. So this to me is true creamed corn. I hope you can give it a try. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a big thumbs up and let me know that you liked it. Also, if you haven't already, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe. While you're down there, click that little wheel to the right and you will receive all notifications from my channel. Thanks again and have a beautiful day.